Okay, good evening, everyone. We have Nico Schlotterbeck here and Julian Brandt from Borussia Dortmund. Translations for today's press conference is in English, Spanish and German. Any questions you have, please raise your hand and introduce yourself with the name and the name of the organization. Okay, we'll start. First question here in the middle, please.
Hi, Radek Sedlmajer, Forum Sport, Czech Republic. Don't take it personally, you have my admiration for your work with the team, but you haven't played a game in 2 weeks. Do you think, are you out of game pace? Thank you. Jonathan?
Bei mir ist er nicht durch. Du kannst anfangen.
Ja, stimmt. Wir haben jetzt unser letztes Saison.
Yeah, that's true. We had our last game 2 weeks ago. But whether that is a big problem, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Yeah, of course, we always talk about rhythm, whether it's better or in this case worse. But personally for me, this doesn't make a difference. We train very well, very intensely. We had a few breaks as well, so we're well prepared. I agree.
Question to Nico. You are playing alongside Mats Hummels, who is very experienced defender and has had many good performances this campaign. What do you learn from him, and how important is it for you to play alongside Mats Hummels?
Ja, ich glaube,
Mats has been there, done that. He's won everything except for the Champions League pretty much. So I'm always happy to play next to him. He is very experienced. He can do everything on the ball, against the ball. So there is a lot that I can learn from him. So he gives me stability, and especially in the Champions League, he has given a lot of stability to the team, so I'm very happy to play next to him. So he used to be a role model, and now he's a friend and teammate, so I'm very happy to play with him.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Aquí Ignacio Migueles, directo para TNT Sports México. Pregunta para Schlotterbeck.
It's a question for Schlotterbeck. I wanted to ask you about the Real Madrid forwards, men like Vinicius, Rodrigo, even Bellingham, high-level players who have played, done all sorts of things in the Champions League and made life complicated for many defenders. You as a defender, how do you defend a player like that? If pressure can be against you, or is that a motivation? Thank you.
Ja, wie wir sie verteidigen, müssen wir dann morgen schauen.
Well, we'll see, but I think all three of them have incredible qualities. I know Jude well because we played together for a year, so he can do everything. He can run with the ball and without the ball. He can dribble, he can use his head, he can shoot. You have to be very careful with him, and we don't have to talk much about the wingers. They're very strong in their dribblings. Every player in the world has had problems with them. So yeah, I look forward to the duel. You can't defend individually against them. You have to do it as a team. So if we can control the three offensive players, we have a chance to win tomorrow.
Ja, hallo, Philipp Knopf von der Real Total. Julian, eine Frage an dich von Ex-Block-Fan zu Ex-Block-Bilder.
Question for Julian. So if you see Real Madrid over the years, so they've had loads of success. Do you have a true belief that you can win tomorrow? Yeah, well, our Champions League season and what we showed against lots of teams. So Edin said it very well. This is the ultimate opponent now, Real Madrid. There is nothing bigger in the Champions League with their history. But as you said, well, the two of us here, but all the other guys who will come later, if we didn't believe it, then we could have stayed back at Dortmund. So yeah, of course, we have total belief, and we're going to show that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Toni Kroos and Marco Reus's last game. Can you say something about both of them? Well, I played with both for quite a while, with Toni in the national team, with Marco here at club level. They're both exceptional players. Toni Kroos, he has a huge legacy as a German player. The amount of titles he's won, he started with it in Germany and then continued in Spain with all the titles, but also the way he plays football. He is an absolute icon of the game, a sensational guy. And Marco, well, he is the one, not the only one, but he is one of the people who made sure that I play for this club. When I was a child, that he was my role model. I looked up at him, I watched YouTube videos with him. So it's still amazing and great joy to play and train with him, and so both of them are big names.
Yes, hello, Egil from Norwegian broadcaster NRK. A question for both Julian and Nico. Julian Ryerson did a great job against Kylian Mbappé in the semifinals. What do you think about his development since joining Dortmund, and what do you expect from him in the final?
Well, as a defensive player, I can say, so yeah, he's a bit of a pit bull. He's an incredible player. I played with him before, and he worked very hard to get that, and he's developed very well, so I'm very happy for him. He worked very hard for it, and he deserves it. He always gives everything for the team. He always has the willpower, and we're all very happy to have him in our team because every team needs a player like him.
Question for both players. You play alongside Jude Bellingham. Has he messaged any of his former teammates and tried to get in anyone's heads?
I have not had any contact with him. No, I don't think any players are in touch with him, but I think that's normal because both us and them as a player, we are in a tunnel and we're concentrating on our own tasks.
From the Dutch newspaper, De Telegraaf. Ian Maatsen has become a very important player since he arrived in Dortmund, but he hasn't been selected for the Dutch squad for the Euros. We're in Holland. We are very surprised by that. Are you surprised as well?
Ich habe es, glaube gestern und vorgestern auch gelesen.
I read it yesterday or the day before. I was very surprised, yes, especially in the second half of the season. He was the best left player, played well against Atletico and PSG. So as a non-Dutch, I can't believe it, but I think the manager will know why, but I think in the future he will play a big role for the Netherlands. I would also have nominated him. In the last few weeks you talked a lot about a sense of normality. Now you're in London. Can you really be normal now? What are your routines tonight and tomorrow morning? Yeah, we're trying. We've talked about it before. In general, everything here is bigger than in a normal Bundesliga or cup game, but also in the group stages in the Champions League. But of course, you can't get rid of these thoughts, but you can still try to have a normal day, and we've tried to do that so far. We've managed to do that so far. So we're going to try the same for the next 24 hours. We'll have a good training. And yes, of course, there is a certain excitement, and we're looking forward to it because we haven't experienced that before. That's normal, but we're still trying to see it as a football game. Yep, I agree with him. Question for both players?
Was nehmen Sie aus dem
What? So you won against Paris, and what do you take from that game for tomorrow? And how do you cope with the pressure? Well, what did we take from that one? Well, as a defensive players, we kept a clean sheet twice, which is a huge success against such an offensive. You can compare them with Real. But, so yeah, we know we can win against everyone. We beat PSG twice, so we were very happy. So we are very happy to go into the game tomorrow after that. And without that belief, we wouldn't have had to come here. So I'm really excited about the game tomorrow. And we have a chance to win that game tomorrow. So there are incredible images of your fans in London this weekend. So is that something that you've registered? Of course. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've read that Dortmund fans, that so many Dortmund fans asked UEFA for tickets, and yeah, I talked to players who were here already in 2013, Nuri, Sven, Mats, Marco. They can tell how many Dortmund fans there are in comparison, so it's an extreme chance for us. We have our fans here, so we'll see how many fans we'll actually have in the stadium, so that will be our 12th player.
China. To both of you, so have you talked to Matt and Marco about the Champions League final 11 years ago in 2013, and what have they told you about their experience and the learnings for this game? Thank you.
Yes, I talked to both. They said it will be a different game because it's very different to a Bundesliga match, but they also said that you have to take it like any other game, and yes, it is in Wembley, 90,000 spectators, but I still think it will be like a home game because we will have so many fans and they will have a great atmosphere. They will hopefully see a great game from our side, but we will treat it like all the other Champions League matches, and yeah, I think we will win tomorrow. I would like to add one thing. So all the success that we would like to have, and especially like the club played here 11 years ago and unfortunately didn't win it then. So we have to try to enjoy the game in the moment, because this is something we don't experience in our lives very often. So I just want to soak up everything around this game. There is basically nothing better than this. This is one of the greatest stadiums in the world. You play against one of the best opponents in the world. There is nothing better than that.
Thank you very much. We'll continue with the head coach shortly.
Danke.
Danke. Ciao.
Yep.
Okay, we'll continue with the head coach of Borussia Dortmund, Edin Terzic. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. All right, we'll start over here again.
Hola, Mr. Ignacio Migueles para TNT Sports.
Hello, Coach, for TNT Mexico. We are live. The other day, we had the pleasure and the opportunity to talk to you, and you said you were not happy about reaching the final, but you will be happy if you finally win it. So, seeing that you are already in London, I personally never played a final in my life, but it must be incredible. Are you happy, or do you need to win it? Thank you.
Ja, hallo zusammen erstmal. Also ich erinnere mich ganz genau.
I remember very well you congratulated me for being in the final, and you said that it's a great final, and I said we're not 100% happy, but of course we're happy to be in the final, but you don't play a final, you win a final, and that is our clear goal. So yeah, we're happy to be here, but we have to win at Wembley against Real Madrid to win the Champions League. But yeah, we want to hold that trophy in our hands.
Hello, I'm Davide Chinelato with Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy. My question will be in English. You faced Real Madrid, as you say. You also faced Carlo Ancelotti, who's probably the king coach of this competition. What do you think about him? What did you learn from him, if you look up at him at some point?
Yes, I just mentioned a couple of days ago the biggest respect for him, because he's one of the managers that not only made it with one team, he made it with different teams in different countries and different cultures, and not within 3 years in basically the way that he managed teams and how the players play for him. He needs to be a role model for every young coach, and I feel that I'm still a young coach, so he's one of my role models in this business.
Artur Sharutyunyan, Fast Media Armenia. In the first 2 games of the group stage, Borussia didn't even score a goal, but reached the final. What factors made it possible to believe, stay focused, and reach Wembley?
Yeah, you're right. We conceded in the first 2 games, we conceded 2 goals. The first goal was in Paris. It was a penalty, a very harsh penalty. So we only conceded 2 goals in these 2 games. But the key fact was that I think we are the team with the most clean sheets in the competition. And then if you don't concede many chances and many goals, it's much easier to win games. And we are a team that is always ready to score. And on this level, on this stage, you need to manage to keep the opposition as far away from the goal as possible. And this is one of the key factors, and I think that after the first 2 games, it was in the beginning of the season, we lost very important players in the summer transfer window, and we brought new players in, and it's going to take some time. And so we didn't manage to be on our top level in the beginning of September when we played these 2 games in the group stage, but now we are here. Now we are a totally different team than down to September, and I think that we showed, especially in this competition, that we are ready to compete, and now we want to show that we're also ready to fight to win the trophy.
Hi, Edin. João Venturi, SBT Brazil. We don't know to say how big Real Madrid is. Everybody knows that. Probably is the biggest football club in the world. A way to beat them probably is not respect them so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we know that they are for sure in this competition by far the most successful team. And if you see only this season, they, I think, only had 2 defeats. And these defeats been against Atletico. That is always a special game for them, a derby. But we also see that we are ready to compete on the highest level. And we always said, maybe if we play 10 times against Real Madrid, it's going to be very difficult. 34, impossible. But if you break it down to 1 game, and this is what you do, if you go to a final, then everything is possible in football. But the most important thing is not only to see the occasion where we are playing Real Madrid, it's about the game. And we played so many games this season, altogether 60 games with all the Bundesliga Cup, Champions League and friendly games. So we had 60 games to prepare ourselves for the game tomorrow. And this is our part of the story. It's clear that they have the role as a favorite, but we don't care. We haven't been the favorites against Atletico. We haven't been the favorites against Paris. It's about us, how big the favorites going to be. Is it 2080? Is it 3070? It's about us. And if we are brave, and if we are ready to show that we are not here to see how Real Madrid is going to lift the next trophy, if we are here to give them a game, then we're going to have a chance.
Çiğdem Günal, TV Sport Türkiye. You lost a heartbreaking championship in Bundesliga last year, and today you are at the Champions League final. How did you manage the team's feelings?
Yeah, as I just said it after the last game last season, this is now part of our life and now part of our way to success. I'm honest, I don't think this is the most beautiful chapter in my life, but this is maybe the most important chapter in my life, because it shows you that it doesn't matter how hard it feels, how tough it is. Stand up and try it again. And unfortunately, we didn't make it to get as close as this in the Bundesliga, but now we are here in the Champions League final. And this is the beautiful part of our sport. Last year we found out how tough it can be, but now this doesn't matter anymore, because we are here, and we are here facing Real Madrid in one of the most iconic stadiums in the world, and so we are really happy and delighted.
Edin, du hast bei deinem Amtsantritt gesagt, Ziel ist es eines Tages zu feiern.
Edin, you said one day you want to celebrate like never before. Why is that the case tomorrow? I don't really care. I do remember what I said. I also said, well, let's work as hard as never before. And that's the crucial thing for now. First, we have to focus on the game. We do respect the way how the things are, definitely. But our focus and my focus as the coach has to be content-driven, and I am sure that the best parties I've ever had are the ones that I never planned. So that's why we want to have reasons, and then hopefully tomorrow we will be able to party. Edin, when you look in the mirror or look at the players, what have you seen most? Like a smile or worries? What's the prevalent emotion? A lot of excitement and will. I don't know what's inside the players. I can only see what I can see, but inside myself, wow, if someone had told me that I'd be sitting here a day before the press conference, I would have thought that I would be very nervous, but I can be honest and say, no, I can't feel it like that as I would have expected it. And I think this is because everyone gives me that confidence. We are just so confident and convinced that we'll play a great game tomorrow. We've prepared so well for it. So I'm very happy about how we have been in training, and this is why I can sit here and be very confident.
Experienced the 2013 Champions League final at Wembley. Have they given any advice and experience to the players in the team before tomorrow's final? And the second question, did you think you would experience something like this at the beginning of the season? You are sitting right here today before the final, so thank you so much.
Yeah, the first thing is it's not only Mats and Marco, it was also two of my coaching staff members with Nuri Sahin and Sven Bender, and of course we are always in the exchange of experiences. You can't compare everything one by one, but of course we are using this kind of experiences from all our players, and so we had many chats during the last weeks and last days, and it's very important also because they know how special this game is. And maybe if you're a young player, and this was the case in 2013, they thought this is my first final and there are more to come. But now you can feel it's not easy to get into the final. And so, of course, we are talking and exchanging these kind of experiences. And one of your colleagues outside asked me, did I ever think about being in Wembley in the Champions League final 10 years ago? No. But 4 months ago, when we qualify for the knockout stage, yes, for sure. Once you are there and once you see, okay, it's going to be a tough way, but with every game it's getting shorter and shorter, then the belief increases. And everything in life starts with the belief, and the belief that we had was very early in the season.
Yes, hello, Egil Sander from Norwegian NRK. Edin, just a few days before the final, Borussia Dortmund announced a new sponsorship with the weapons manufacturer Rheinmetall. This is a controversial deal. What are your thoughts about the new sponsorship?
With all the respect, I'm the coach of Borussia Dortmund, and I just mentioned how special this night before the game and the night tomorrow will be for us. I think that our board make the decision and they also communicate their decisions, and for me it would be the logical case if you talk to our board members and to the decision makers in this case, and not to the head coach preparing the team and breathing every second to win the game tomorrow, and hopefully you can live with that answer for tonight.
Edin, es sind morgen Abend wahrscheinlich 30.000.
We expect 30,000 fans tomorrow, a few more thousands, tens of thousands in London, and over 100,000 in the central Dortmund tomorrow. What are you telling the fans who haven't been able to travel to London? Well, first of all, I feel sorry that so many didn't manage to get tickets or to come here. But I'm pretty sure that, as I saw it in 1997, I wasn't in the stadium, but I saw what was going on in Dortmund and around Dortmund, and I'm pretty sure that they will not only cross their fingers, but they will support us. And I think it will be very yellow tomorrow and very loud in the stadium. We need every single fan, no matter how far away they are, and then we will do everything possible to make it happen. Everyone's talking about the qualities of Real Madrid. What about their weaknesses? Are there any weaknesses? Yes, we have talked about them with the team, but we're not going to talk about them publicly. I wouldn't want to do that. I think as the coach of Borussia Dortmund, I don't want to talk about the weaknesses of Real Madrid, but of course there are things they like and things they don't like as much offensively and defensively. And we are preparing for that, and this gives us a very good feeling to have a great game tomorrow. It might not be a great last question, but Mats Hummels said in an interview, and some thought that this was criticism about you. I did not read that. What was that about? It's about your way, how you train and how you played before the winter in this season. No, honestly, I didn't read it because now I'm fully focused on having success tomorrow. But I know that I've talked to Mats, and I know what we both said, how he sees things, how I see things, and this is how I treat every player, not only experienced players like him. And I do like to keep these discussions just with one player.
Dankeschön.